Hey guys, welcome to Leadership for the Future, Warrior, Scholar, Sage, episode number 71, where we get together every single week right here simultaneously on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to explore and dive deeply into the psychology and the strategy to powerfully lead both your life and business. So weigh in down below. If you're on Facebook, just weigh in down below and say hello. Tell me who you are and where you're from. Really glad that you're here. And also, please remember that share button right down there. If you know people within your family, within your tribe, who want to lead their life and their business more powerfully and take their life and business to the next level, to level up as we move into 2018, then just hit that share button right down there and help me, help you, help those that you love and care about. On Instagram, you can regram. Obviously, you can't put comments, but you can put comments, I believe. I'm not sure. Can they put comments on Instagram on the live? Good. Yeah, you can comment and tell me who you are and where you're from. And on Twitter, you can retweet, if you would please, and put comments down below. Now, as we're waiting for people to get into the room and to weigh in, then let's talk about the fact that this is our 13th episode. 13th episode that in which we've been discussing and exploring what experts tell us are the primary factors, the three hottest opportunities that you must have, in fact, the necessities you must have to thrive in this Mach 10 market. And they also are the three hottest opportunities to build a business and grow a business. We're going to take a side venture next week from these special episodes on the three factors to thrive. And we'll come back week after, because next week, remember to mark your calendar, we're going to kind of jump off this topic and we're going to do a very special episode on goal setting and goal achieving next week as we move into 2018. So you're going to want to be there. You're going to prepare yourself to take some notes. A special pre-New Year's event on goal achieving. And I know you got some goals. Now, before we get into the content here today, let me just do a quick shout out to those of you on Facebook who shared last week's episode. I really, truly appreciate this. And this is a simple way, by hitting that share button right down there, that you can make an impact on the world. Barbie Smith Mathis, thank you very much. Jay Lee, thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Rob Genius, Anthony Rogers, as always. Dave Curlew, Lana Monday, Mika Valley. Mika, I'm going to see you in about 3 weeks, brother. So buckle your seatbelt because Leadership for the Future is coming right up around the corner. Tommy Allen Rains, thank you. Tony that's his Francis. Yeah, Bears writing. She's good at a lot of things. Writing's not one of them. Tony Francis Smith, I'm going to see you in 3 weeks too, man, all the way in from the UK. So belt into that airplane and get ready to rock and roll here in Las Vegas. Tronette Ingram, thank you for sharing. Gratitude 24/7, 365. Nora Jones, Sunstar, We Are All One. Lift it up so I can see it. Yuri Rogozin, Astrology News. That's a new one. Thank you, Yuri, for sharing. I really, truly appreciate that. Keep it up. This week's episode is called, are you ready? Stare Down the Beast. Now, I'm going to tell you what the beast is in just a moment. Before we get into that, let me just tell you something that you already know. Change is hard. Right? That's why most people don't do it. It's just too hard. It takes a lot of work. It's worth it. Now, let me ask you a question, and I really want you to think about this before you answer. In fact, if you're on Facebook, I'm going to ask you, and on Twitter and on Instagram, I'm going to ask you to type your answer down below. You ready? Here's the question. Really give it some thought. If I could guarantee you right now, as we move into 2018, all the money in the world, or I can guarantee that you would always have endless happiness, fulfillment, and peace. But you can't have both. It's either or. What's your answer? And I'm going to ask you to type it down below. I'm going to give you just a couple minutes to do that. I'm really curious to see what your answer is. Let me just repeat the question. If I could guarantee you all the money in the world, or you can have endless happiness, fulfillment, and peace, but you can't have both, what's your answer? Now, are the answers coming in, Bear? Do we have any answers coming in? Not yet? Come on, guys, type your answer below. Let me see some answers. What we got, Barry? Happiness, fulfillment, peace. I know there's a delay. Keep typing. I want to see your answers. I want to hear your answers. But see, here's the fact. I have asked this question, the same question, in front of millions of people from countries all around the world. And without exception, about 95% of the room raise their hand and say they would take all the happiness, fulfillment, and peace, not the money. Now, here's a fact, and deep down inside, you know that this is true. Your deepest desire is not more money and things. It's not really. Your deepest desire is what you think those money and those things will give you. In other words, your deepest desire is to have authentic happiness, and we discussed last week that authentic happiness is different than that little dopamine spike that most people call happiness. It's temporary and ephemeral and quickly goes away. Your deepest desire is authentic happiness that's sustainable, fulfillment, and peace. And what you truly and really want is right at your fingertips. It really is. Will you seize it? You see, when you're completely and totally honest with yourself, and as we've discussed many times, there's no value in lying to yourself. When you're completely honest with yourself, you know the answer. And so, as we're looking at this third factor in what experts tell us is an opportunity and a necessity for you to thrive in this Mach 10 disruptive market in which we live and move and be and will continue to accelerate in that way, then it's authentic happiness and fulfillment. And the quality we must develop is the ability to have that smack dab in the middle of chaos. Easier said than done, right? Now, consequently, since so few people even have this quality, particularly in this Western influenced world, this is becoming and will continue to become, please listen to me, this is becoming and will continue to become one of the hottest market opportunities that you can seize. But please remember, you can't give what you don't have. So you have to get it first. Are you with me? When you can find authentic, sustainable happiness and fulfillment, even in the middle of chaos, then you have the opportunity to give it to others. And this is going to be more and more of a business opportunity because more and more people are needing help. And research proves this to be true. And your own research, as you look at the people around you, will prove this to be true. For now and moving into the future. Now look, recognition is the first law of learning and transformation. Until you recognize and admit that your approach right now isn't working, then you'll continue to do the same old things and hoping and praying and wishing and holding your breath to get different results. That's not smart. It's frankly kind of stupid, right? Recognition is the first law of learning and transformation. Unless and until you recognize something, you're never going to be enabled and empowered to change it. Are you with me? Now look, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that your strategy most probably is not working. But it is your responsibility. You see, as we've discussed many times, you've not been programmed by society or conditioned by your school system or your media or your education or your social surroundings or your environment to effectively live an authentic life, which is the only way to have authentic happiness. And as we've discussed, authentic happiness, as I already mentioned here today, has nothing to do with that temporary dopamine spike that the masses call happiness. Authentic happiness is grounded in fulfillment. And authentic happiness and fulfillment can exist even in the middle of complete chaos. And I'm here to tell you, if you're not feeling chaos at some level, in some way, in some area of your life right now, just buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because it's coming. It's coming. Look around. Pay attention, or pay with pain. Here's the bottom line, though. Life is a gift. It really is. It's the greatest gift that you've been given. Even a difficult and challenging and scary day is a great day. It's a gift because it sure beats the hell out of the alternative, right? Right? Now, let me give you an example. I remember when I was sitting in solitary confinement. Yeah, solitary confinement right next to death row. And I sat on a concrete slab, and this was in 2012, end of 2011, beginning of 2012. I sat on a concrete slab that they called a bed. I was in a 12 by 10 cell that smelled like piss and excrement. I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating here. They don't clean them. Why should they? Because in their minds, animals live there. I had no conversation. This was solitary confinement, also known as the hole. You've heard of the hole? No conversation. I had no pen. I had no paper. I certainly had no television. I certainly had no Pandora or any kind of music. I had nothing but my own thoughts and the four walls. Now, fortunately, I've always been my own best friend. So, the sad fact, and maybe this is true of you, and again, there's no value in lying to yourself, is that most people can't stand their own company. They just can't. And let me just give you a quick test as to whether or not you can stand your own company. If you can't spend time in complete silence, completely alone, with no books, no television, no pen, no paper, no computer, no phone, no animals, no snacks, no alcohol, no napping, being totally awake, and just being with yourself, then you don't like yourself very much. That's just a fact. And the fact is, most people don't like their own company. And let me ask you to consider, if you don't enjoy your own company, how can you ever expect anyone else to enjoy your company? Because you don't like your own company, right? Now here I was, and because I'd always been my own best friend, it was just me and God in these four walls. And yet I was in the depths of despair. This was a really dark time of my life, as you might imagine. I was doing pity party. You ever done that one? I was feeling sorry for myself. You ever done that? I was blaming God. No, actually, I was cursing God. That's just a fact. You ever cursed God? I was blaming the government. I was blaming the media. I was in full-on victim mode. Deep, deep, dark. You've been there. And in the midst of this darkness, the voice of reason spoke in my head. And I won't give you the entire conversation because we don't have time here today. But I'm going to give you the overview, the highlights. It went something like this. James, the medical evidence stated that toxins, pesticides, were the cause of the deaths of your friends in the lodge, right? My answer, yeah, right. And 3 of your clients and friends died, right? Yeah. It broke my heart. It really did. And several of your clients got sick and went to the hospital. Right? Yeah, okay, whatever. I get your point. Voice of reason, voice of God. What's your point? Did you get sick, James? No. Weren't you in that lodge for 12 rounds and never left? Yes. Aren't you alive and here today, even though you're in a shithole? Okay. Yeah, I am. And here's the kicker. So would you rather be dead or would you rather be here? Wow. Something switched inside my head. That's when life began to change. When you face your own mortality, honestly and squarely, and stare it straight in the eye. This is what I call staring down the beast. Then you begin to realize that every day, even the days that are ugly, are a gift. And they're vastly more beautiful than the alternative. and see, again, I call this staring down the beast. And the fact is that most people are not willing to even look at the beast, much less stare down the beast. You see, your own mortality is your worst nightmare. It is for all of us. And most do their damnedest to avoid it, to suppress it, to ignore it, or deny it. But let me tell you something, that doesn't matter very much. Because it's not going away. Most live their lives like they have, quote, plenty of time. You don't have time. I don't care how young or how old you are, you don't have time. Time has you. It's interesting to me as an entrepreneur and a business owner, and if you're one, you can relate to me on this. I was talking with my team just this week, and I said, hey, look, guys, we just got to face the fact that during this time of year, we got to hunker down and we got to do our homework and we got to work on our internal systems and we got to do our planning and our processes, because we ain't going to get much of anything done outside of our internal team, because most people are already on holiday time. Most people start holiday time at Thanksgiving and they slide through the rest of the year and the first week of January. Am I right? They're on holiday time for the better part of a damn month or more. Just skating by, just doing enough to get by. They're not answering emails. They're not finishing projects. They're not working long hours. They're not doing what it takes because I'm on holiday time. You know why? Because what they fooled themselves into believing is that you have time. And you can waste it. But the fact is, you don't have time. Time has you. your own mortality, when you stare it down and look at it squarely, is the greatest motivator you could ever have. You know, I've studied the Toltec tradition, and the Toltec tradition talks about the angel of death is over your left shoulder 24/7 with its finger poised, and it's just ready to tap you out. Now, see, we don't like that in Western culture. We don't want to think about that. Oh, that's so morbid. That's so ugly. That's so no, you know. Well, the fact is, if you really understand it, the Toltec tradition is not about celebrating death. It's about celebrating life. It's about saying, hey, I got to make the most of right now. I haven't got time for holiday time, because time has me. You have, and you know, boy, James, this is kind of intense for around Christmas. Yeah, well, wake up, because it's all, you know, how many goals did you set in January of this year that you're going to have to roll over into next year? Let's just be frank here. You have a ticking clock that's going to wipe you off the board before you know it. And it's certainly going to wipe you off the board, me too, before we're ready. I don't care how well you take care of yourself. And then, you know me, I mean, part of this 13-week series is about taking care of yourself and living as long as you can possibly live so you can do great things. Because if you're going to do great things, you have to be around a long time to do great things. You want to make a lot of money? You got to be around a long time to make a lot of money. You want to make a lot of impact? You got to be around a long time to make a lot of impact. But I don't care how well you take care of yourself and how well you eat and how many supplements you take and how much you work out. Time is going to win. Tick-tock. Now look. I'm not here to frighten you. I'm here to inform you. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to wake you up. You see, science tells us that life once produced asexually, virgin birth. Okay? It just kind of popped into existence. And there was no death initially. And of course, we're talking, you know, billions of years ago. But it's almost as if God's evolutionary process installed death to place a sense of urgency on you accomplishing what you're here to accomplish, on you living and fulfilling your purpose, on you getting the job done, on you developing your gifts and genius. 2 words, tick-tock. Because the fact is, there's not one power in this universe. We're being really above board and raw and real here today. There's not one power in this universe that can guarantee you're going to even wake up tomorrow. You want to think you're going to, and I hope you do. But there's not one power in this universe that can guarantee it. Tick-tock. Today is what you've got. Right now is what you've got. And the key to living fully and completely is to face your own mortality and stare it straight in the eye. You've got to stare down the beast. Not ignore it, not deny it, not suppress it. And that's when you realize, like I did, when I faced my own mortality in a 12x10, that I'd much rather be in a shithole than be gone, because I got work to do. And so do you. You have things to fulfill. You have a purpose to bring. You have contributions to make. And how do I know this? Because you're still here. If you didn't have something that you were here to complete and to do and to contribute, you would be gone. And you're not gone yet. Tick-tock. Get it done. And when you face that, then you realize that even the ugly days, even the hard days, even the most difficult, even the chaos is a gift. And they're vastly better than the other option. By being intense today, good. good. Because when you get this, then it changes your entire life. Every single moment of every single day. You haven't got time. Time has you. Remember that. You have not got time. Time has you. And the first step to living fully and completely, the next step in fulfillment and authentic happiness. And if I could be fulfilled and happy in a 12 by 10 shithole that smelled like piss and excrement on a concrete slab, it wasn't easy. It's not supposed to be easy. But when you get it, then you have it. And that's what you want. And it all begins with a change of mind and a change of heart. It all begins with letting go of the illusion. It all begins with embracing the truth. It all begins with waking up and standing up and taking your power back. Are you ready? I hope so. Are you ready to have a change of mind and a change of heart? Are you at the point of enough already? Because see, here's the fact. We most often never make any powerful transformation until we get to the point of enough already. I'm tired of existing. It's time to live. Are you ready to do whatever it takes? Then the time is now. The time is now. It's not January 1. Because as we've already, I might not make it to January 1. You might not make it. There's no power that guarantees that. The time is now. Today. Today is the day. Now is the time. Look, if you're at enough already, if you're ready to step into an opportunity, if you're ready to seize your power, if you're ready to live your destiny, if you're ready to transform your life and transform the world, if you're ready to have the impact that you're here to have, if you're ready to live your purpose and fulfill your mission, no matter what it takes, then I have an opportunity for you. It's not easy. It takes work. It takes an investment. It takes making it important. It takes setting aside the bullshit so you can focus on what's most critical, mission critical. Let's talk. If you're on Facebook, there's a link here above my head. I got 2 seats left for January 7th in Leadership for the Future Mastermind Experience. If you're the right person, I'd love to have you. It's by application and invitation only. Just click the link and you can apply and talk to me, and we'll figure out if the event is right for you and the group is right for you and you're right for the group. On Instagram, you can go to my bio. On Twitter, it's above my head as well. Look, if you're not ready, that's okay. That's okay. Most people aren't. But I hope at least I've given you some things to think about and more importantly to act upon, because this is your life. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is it. You can't wait till January 1. Now is the time. Because pretty soon, before you know it, it'll be January 1, 2019. And if you don't do something drastically different than you're doing today, you're going to be in the very same place as you are today with 2 exceptions. You'll be 1 year older and you'll be twice as frustrated. Not a pretty picture. So, more importantly than some things to think about, I hope I've given you some things to act upon. Next week, if we all make it, which I hope we do, we'll get together same place, same time. We're going to set some goals for 2018. In the meantime, think hard, think long and hard about what we've explored here. Think about 2 words, TikTok. Click the link and let's talk. Let's talk. Because I'm here to help you take your power back. So, until we speak again, as always, thank you so much for being here. Share this. Please share this one. You know and I know that people need to hear this message right here and right now. You know and I know that people want true happiness and fulfillment, and that's what you deserve. And you ain't going to get it if you keep doing the same old things you've always been doing. And you're not going to get it if you keep following your programming and your conditioning. You got to rattle the cage. You got to shake it up. You got to do something dramatically different. And I'd love to help you. Until we speak again, as always, be a leader. Live your purpose and take your power back.